Welcome to the Wednesday report on the human condition. I do this report as a visitor to planet Earth because I was born on this Earth, I will die on this Earth. That makes me, by definition, a visitor. So what's going on this week with the human population? Well, at least in the United States, people are celebrating the arrival of the Super Bowl. And if you're a deep thinker like me, you're wondering, what is this Super Bowl thing all about? And that's part of a bigger question, which is, what is the deeper meaning of sports in general? I mean, in the case of hockey, basketball, football, soccer, you've got two teams, a goal at each end of the field, and you've got a ball that each team tries to bring into the other side and put in the net, right? Pretty simple. But, of course, this is planet Earth. There are deeper meanings behind things. And as I watch humans engage in this thing called sports, I can't help but think that they are engaging in play war. Play or pretend war. There are two teams, each one led by a general or a coach, and each team attempts to invade the territory of the other team. And at the end of this game, a score is totaled up and it's clear who won the war. And you might say, what about tennis and volleyball where you're not invading the other side, you're staying on your side? Well, yes, tennis and volleyball are about lobbing a missile to the other side and them lobbing it back until finally one team misses it, like in volleyball, hits the ground, and that symbolizes the explosion of a bomb. And you might think, well, why engage in pretend war? Is it that humans are just so kind and nice and they just want to get in touch with some animalistic aspect of existence? And I would say no, I don't think aggression has ever left us. All around the planet yesterday, people were being aggressive. There were bar fights last night. There were neighbors arguing, you stepped on my side of the lawn. No, you stepped on my side. There were domestic violence incidents. We have jails and prisons full of people who were too aggressive to stay in society. I mean, let's not forget that humans are part of the animal kingdom. We've altered our environment to a great deal over the last several thousand years. We've created grocery stores. And so if say you wanted to eat meat, you don't need to necessarily kill the animal yourself. But at this very moment, as you're watching this, somewhere on this planet, a bear is grabbing a salmon out of a river, taking that salmon's life so that the bear can have more life. There is a lion chasing a gazelle and sinking its teeth into that gazelle's neck, taking that gazelle's life so that the lion can have more of its life. Two rams competing over the same mate and crushing their heads together with their horns to figure out who is the winner and who's going to mate and pass on their genetics. But in sports, we're just pretending. And so we soften it. And we have referees who enforce the rules and who step in if real war starts to take place. And this is what's missing in nature. Because we've all had that moment where we're watching National Geographic. The lion is chasing the gazelle. We want the gazelle to escape. We go, run, run, gazelle, run. But the gazelle doesn't run fast enough. The lion grabs it with its teeth. Blood squirts. And pretty soon the lion is dragging that lifeless corpse of the gazelle off to a secluded corner where it can have its feast. And we think, okay, I've seen enough. Can we get a referee in here, please? Can we try that again? Can we just restart it, restart the play? But you can't. And then it hits you. Yeah, that just happened. And for minutes, your cheeks sting from the slap of Mother Nature's unforgiving hand. That is the story of nature and the battle of survival on planet Earth. And so it doesn't surprise me, not one bit, when I hear news headlines like Russia is invading Ukraine, or even police brutality stories. And one important point to make here is that it's not the case that human populations are becoming more violent. Harvard professor Steven Pinker wrote about this in his book, The Better Angels of Our Nature, where he showed evidence that hunter-gatherer societies were actually quite more violent than current societies, and that it's more so a matter of us just communicating this violence more regularly than in the past. So are humans becoming more violent? I don't think so, but are humans still violent to some degree and at some times? Of course, yes. And that's going to continue depending on potential causal factors such as humans' biology and testosterone levels, environmental incentives such as the fear of going to jail, whether people are distracted with jobs and things to do versus having too much time on their hands. So now the current task for the human being in the year 2023 is to use its outer cerebral cortex, the most evolutionarily advanced and outer layer of this brain, to use that layer to solve the problems created by the older inner layers of the brain, such as the emotional limbic system, that in part gives rise to these aggressive tendencies. And my closing thought and takeaway from reflecting on this deeper meaning of sports is the human desire for order, right? Because every sports game begins in chaos. We have two teams competing for a scarce resource. Whether in a very abstract sense this might symbolize land or sexual mates, the two teams are battling for something, and that's a conflict. But it's resolved by the end of the game or the competition when a clear hierarchy is established of first, second, third, fourth, gold, silver, bronze, etc. And once that hierarchy is developed, order is, at least temporarily, restored, and people can relax. Much like in feature films that have a plot line with an initial conflict, rising action, an eventual climax, and then some sort of restoration of order from the chaos that was initiated with the conflict. And this is life on planet Earth. And if you got at least one insight out of this video, throw something down in the comments section below. Enjoy this weekend's Super Bowl if you choose to watch it. Think deeply and put your existence first.